Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Fun Show here at Big TV. This is the March 2nd edition of the Fun Show. We're all here. Michael is tickling the keys on the Kira keyboard over there, and patting the board is Kira herself, Kira Miner. I'm Arch O'Reilly. I keep trying to be somebody else, but well, one day I'll introduce myself as Henry Knox. That's another story on
kinds
things.
of rewards.
Yeah,
awards.
I would like to point out to people that the 5th of March is the 250th anniversary of the Boston Massacre.
Oh.
And it will be recreated because that's the way we are these days.
It's dark.
On the 7th of March down at the old State House.
All right.
That figures.
It's a little dark.
Followed by recreations. You'll appreciate this, nascent lawyer that you are. We will have a series of reenactments of the trials of the British soldiers.
Oh.
I hope you all remember your history enough to know that John Adams and Josiah Quincy stood up to defend the British soldiers who shot the people.
Yeah, but they were running in the houses, knocking things over, and taking liberties.
Liberties.
Yes, and the Sons of Liberty came forth. And we generally consider up here the Boston Massacre to be the opening shots of the Revolution. And who was the first casualty of the Revolution?
It's just African American.
Well, half African American, half Native American,
yes.
Crispus Attucks.
Yes.
And one of the things I hadn't previously realized about Crispus Attucks is he was 6'2".
Wow.
Yes, I knew
which
that.
in 1770
was a giant.
Was a very big guy.
Yeah.
But a couple of musket balls in the chest will take down.
Too bad.
Doesn't
big
matter
guys.
how tall you are at that point.
That's
a
right.
bad guy got out
So
front.
we've been practicing greeting each other with elbow bumps.
Wait, or the fist bump.
Or fist bumps.
Doing that, I'll give you an elbow.
Yeah.
Okay.
right.
And
all right.
we're talking
No
about
fist
the
bump?
coronavirus.
No. All right.
Howie Mandel. I always think of Howie Mandel. Anyway, the thing is that the coronavirus is not panic time, but is serious, folks. And you gotta take things. You gotta wash your hands more often. Do not reach for door handles. Every time you touch something in a public space,
Yes.
you should wash your hands.
Keep your hands off your face.
You should carry hand sanitizer. It has to be at least 60% alcohol, or it's useless. It's just a show doing nothing. But we don't need to panic, but we do have to pay attention to it. There's a whole bunch of kids from Newton North High School who are now being quarantined because on school vacation they took a trip to Italy. So they're now being quarantined. It's like, welcome home, now stay home for the next 2 weeks kind of
That's
thing.
not going to be a problem for them.
Yes, we have no bananas.
Excuse me, would you help me look for my mind? It was just blown.
Wait, yes, we don't have a banana. That's what it was. Okay.
Yes, we have no bananas
All right,
today.
go ahead.
All right. We have not been here, in case you've desperately missed us or enjoyed our reruns more than our regular shows.
I don't think they like us.
We haven't been here for the last 2 weeks.
So they
If
can't
they're
remember.
watching, they like us.
Yeah.
So Kira will now give you a rundown of sort of a mixture of the important and the interesting deaths over the last 3 weeks.
And Arch is going to help round it out for me. We lost Fred Koch, the good brother of the Koch brothers.
Yes.
At 86. What was his demise? Cause of his demise?
Money.
As I recall, it was a heart attack.
That's too bad.
He was counting
Heartbreak.
his money.
And he
had
was, what,
a heart
86?
attack.
Yeah, 86.
Okay.
But that's not old anymore.
Thank you. Michael thanks you.
I think he would vote for Biden. He might have voted for Biden.
He'd vote for whoever
He wouldn't
ends
vote
up.
for Trump.
He wouldn't have voted for Trump, so we lost another crucial vote.
That's it.
Heartbreaking. So we lost A.E. Hotchner.
A.E. Hotchner.
He's the co-founder of Newman's, or is it original? Newman's Own.
Newman's Own.
Newman's Own.
But he also did novels and plays. That's how he and Newman hooked
Man was 103 years old.
That's
he was
old.
a playwright, novelist, a number of other things. And he, along with Paul Newman, started Newman's Own, the charity consumer products company.
Yes.
And I think that's interesting because he was a lot older than Paul was.
Ah.
That's right.
So it must have been Paul's mentor. Ted Johnson, at 95, he was a Tuskegee Airman.
Yes.
Yeah, I met
there
him.
Did you meet him?
There are a few left, but he was probably one of the most traveled and well known of the. He was one of the spokesmen over the decades for the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah, he. What was it?
Where did you meet him?
I met him. Well, I first saw his plane probably flying about 200 feet from our bomber.
Yeah.
We didn't know they were coming. The Tuskegee.
The Red Tails.
Yes, the Red Tails. And he got a good laugh when I was talking to him about this. That's all. He got shot down, and he was in a prison camp too.
Oh.
Yeah. And
But he made it home.
I don't know. The Germans would absolutely.
Extra horrible.
They were bound to see if they could get this guy to say he hated America for what was going on. Yeah.
Well,
that's intense.
I must admit that if I was a German at that time, I probably would have been tempted to make the same approach.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he said, I upheld the dignity and the integrity of our country. And I shook his hand and really gave him a big hug, too.
Nice.
So a salute to Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah, we used to have a nice picture of the three of us, but somebody stole it.
Yes,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
one of your children.
Yeah,
Who
I'm
was-
sure.
Who
Yeah.
was the third in the picture?
Yeah,
You say the three. Who was the other third?
Rini. Rini was
okay.
in the middle, and he was on each side of us.
Oh, okay. So that you have a real personal attachment to this guy.
Yeah. It was worth a little extra follow-up there.
Should have gone to the funeral.
I wish I had.
What do we got next?
We lost Janet Dubois. Good
Yes.
Times. She wrote the Jeffersons theme song. Michael,
Yes.
are you prepared to play for
What is
everybody?
the name of it?
The Jeffersons.
Moving on up.
Yeah, moving on up must be.
Moving on up.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Moving on up.
Moving on up to the east side,
to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
But it's funny. She starred in one show and wrote and sang the theme song for the other show.
Well, it was actually, and it was more than just a theme song too.
Yeah.
It became, this mantra of hope.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is that nowhere in her obit is there an age.
Good.
Ah,
Very
that's
good.
funny. Good for her.
Okay.
So we lost.
Ageless.
Ageless.
We lost Cy Sperling.
Cy
78
Sperling.
Hair
Oh,
Club
boy.
for Men.
I'm not just the founder, I'm a client.
Do you think he was happy in the end?
Yes. Why not?
I don't know. He had a full head of hair.
Yeah, and that isn't that
and he built it himself,
right?
I planted all this crop. Yeah.
Right? Like, isn't that the root of happiness for men over like
root?
70? Right?
Yes.
To have your hair.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. We lost Katherine Johnson. She was 101. She was one of NASA's mathematicians, probably one of the women depicted in Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
Yes, well, she was the lead character
Was she?
in
They
Hidden
wouldn't
Figures.
fly there without her.
And
Okay.
We would not have gotten to the moon without her. 101 was it?
Yeah, 101.
101.
Jack never knew about
Female scientist, mathematician, African American.
Yeah.
Remarkable story.
Absolutely.
this. And a lot of nasty stuff that made life miserable for her and her friends who were there, the women.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Terrible stuff.
But they paved the way by, toughing it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
They toughed that out. So
the
the next.
Jackie Robinson routine.
That's
That's the way it
about
goes. We lost Joe what is it? Columba.
Columba.
He's the founder of Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Joe.
Trader Joe's.
He's the Joe of Trader Joe's.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And last but not least,
he's not the same guy. He's not the same guy whose brother was Aldi's. He sold to these brothers, and then the brothers split. One has Trader Joe's and the other has Aldi's. Aldi's is this store that everybody talks about, and there's only one of them within 25 miles of here.
There's one near my parents, so I get to check it out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's in New York, Western New York.
They're all over the place.
Yep.
But not here.
Not here.
Here they're in, I don't know, Rentham or something like that.
Yeah.
Methuen.
I've only ever been in one, and that was in Ireland.
Maybe they have an agreement between them regarding this particular area.
I don't think they have any agreements at all.
Okay. Well, somehow
they hate each other.
But that's why, think that Trader Joe's might have kept that territory, Aldi's out of certain territories. Yeah. Last but not least, Freeman Dyson. He was into the cosmos, an expansive thinker. What else do we know about him, Arch?
Freeman Dyson was a professor at the Institute of Advanced Studies in Princeton, which was started by a man of some notable reputation named Albert Einstein.
I was going to say, that was Einstein's alma mater.
And this guy was there for 60 years.
Yeah.
Well, he must have known Einstein.
Well, it wasn't his alma mater. He came there already as Albert Einstein.
Well, yes.
Everything under the sun. He would have been called in for this thing that we're talking about.
This thing, you mean the coronavirus?
Yeah,
the coronavirus, yes.
The reason that we are elbow bumping. Come on, fist bumping.
Oh, I'm not gonna know.
You already left me hanging, so why would I bring that to you again?
Okay, so should I run through these, or were you?
What?
These hints. Oh,
you know what? You go for it.
This comes from a professor of pathology at the University of California, an expert on coronaviruses and transmission. And it says that it's very likely to become a pandemic. It's not that much at the moment, but here's your clues. No handshaking.
None. Zero. Zilch.
I didn't know this one. Use only your knuckle to touch light switches, elevator buttons, etc.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't been able to shut the lights off. Yeah.
Use your
elbow.
Okay.
But here's one I'd never thought of. It says, lift the gasoline dispenser with a paper towel or use a glove.
I can get behind that.
It basically talks about lots of things that lots of people touch.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you go somewhere, for instance, if you don't have to hit the knob of a door to get the door open, don't touch the handle.
Don't touch it.
You could turn around and kick it open.
You could do that, but gently.
It says open doors with your closed fist or hip. Do not grasp a handle with your hand.
No.
Use disinfectant wipes at the stores when they make them available, wiping the handle and the child seat in grocery carts.
They know a lot about this virus. They have isolated this virus.
They do know a lot of it, and in fact, a local company has already sent a prototype vaccine to the Center for Disease Control.
Right.
But Trump's out there saying, well, I want a vaccine immediately.
Immediately, yeah. Okay.
It's absolute, wonderful, incredible scientific achievement would be to have it in a year.
Yes.
They even got pictures of it, I think, too.
I don't know if those are actual pictures or artist renderings.
Well, no, they have a machine that can do this, can actually take pictures of these things.
If you believe it.
I do. Okay.
Okay.
I got
it
nothing.
says, wash your hands when you return home from any activity involves locations where other people have been. Keep hand sanitizers available. Cough or sneeze into a disposable tissue and discard.
Or do
use your elbow only if you have to. The clothing on your elbow will contain infectious virus for up to a week or more.
So you should change your clothes
then they
each
go
day.
on to gloves and here's the
Stocking
thing
up.
about the last thing I'm going to read from this. The thing about surgical masks,
Yeah.
they won't help you except in one way. They'll keep you from touching your nose and mouth.
Okay,
This virus
that's enough.
only bonds to lung tissue. So if it doesn't get in through your nose or your mouth, it can't hurt you.
Good.
Okay.
Interesting thing.
Very
All right, so it
interesting.
is now time for tonight's Big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation of a classic. This is Salon Classic Movies. Not Turner Classic Movies, but Salon Classic Movies.
I like it.
I love this one. It's called Spoonful of Sugar. Another thing that we should have Michael play. Right?
Yes.
A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, the medicine go down in the most delightful way.
I was waiting for Michael to catch up.
Okay, I was close.
Close.
Okay.
Spoonful of sugar.
Okay.
Action. Do you ever read to your grandchildren, Mike?
Why?
Kids like us to read to them.
You know, there's plenty of stuff in the papers.
Politics is dry stuff.
President-elect Obama picking cabinet members?
Yeah, he says one president now is enough.
Maybe that's overstated from Barney Frank, you know.
And the Detroit Three are asking Congress for more money.
Let them eat cake.
Not a music.
Anyway, it's not what I'm talking about. It's not a fairy tale.
I get them from their teachers.
Those tales are metaphors for lessons.
Right, like Little Red Riding Hood visiting her stockbroker.
Ah,
Well, he's not the wolf.
wild animals don't wear vests.
Here's the story. Granny's off on a tropical cruise.
So it becomes a thriller, huh?
Plenty of suspense.
Yeah. What's in Red Riding Hood's basket, I ask?
Well, a turkey salad sandwich or a gun.
Hey, that's pretty violent.
Yeah. They love it.
Oh, those video games.
So Riding Hood wants to know where Granny is.
Granny never wears a fur coat to bed.
It doesn't smell right.
Well, Wolf actually hated bathing and even showers.
Where's Granny? Asks Riding Hood.
She had to sign up for her unemployment, barks Wolf.
That doesn't sound right. She's retired.
Well, they changed the rules, girls.
That doesn't sound like my grandma.
Okay. How about a problem with her Medicare coverage?
I don't think your Granny, says Robin Hood there.
Just then, a little pig shouts a warning from the window.
Run for your life, it's the big bad wolf.
Riding Hood doesn't hit a bat an eye, Lash.
Pulls out a gun and clocks the wicked wolf.
Wait a second. Does this have anything to do with congressional oversight?
Don't know, but the guys from Detroit better be careful.
Well, I like that ending better.
Better than Goldilocks and the Three Bears?
I forget who got to eat all the porridge.
Probably someone at Goldman Sachs.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about Goldilocks.
She flees from New York and changes her name.
That's right. Now her Social Security card reads Rapunzel Schwartz.
Like,
They wouldn't search for her with that name.
except she forgot the wig.
Right. She's got those long golden locks.
Can't be too careful.
Do you think the transition team would approve?
Larry Summers would probably observe that it's far-fetched.
He's a worldly guy.
What about the soon-to-be First Lady?
She wouldn't have to explain it to her daughters.
It's just good-natured fun.
They might even make up better ones.
Sure, ones with morals.
Yeah, I think they'll get this at their new school.
Perhaps Cinderella.
But the prince is a white-collar guy.
Well, velvet, I'd hazard.
But Cindy wouldn't have a gown for the ball.
That's all right. Her fairy godmother takes her to a D.C. thrift store.
And phones for a stretch limo.
Ah, but she loses a slipper along the way.
But they forgot to turn back the clock.
Sure, for daylight saving.
So the prince catches up to her.
So the mean sisters trip him.
Cindy likes the thrift store business.
Opens up a chain of them with all that new credit.
From Ben Bernanke's Fed.
The prince likes a bargain, too.
Gets a pair of boots and recognizes Cindy.
So her sisters have to take over the business.
It's non-union.
And everybody lives happily ever after.
Sorry, friends. We're in a recession.
Still, we can repair bridges, I think, fix highways, and renovate old schools.
But families are being evicted from their homes.
That's reality.
There's still hope.
You have to be creative.
You have to make changes.
Yeah, and whatever works.
We're committed.
That's why President Obama has been seeking the best and brightest.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Oh, I remember that. His mother sends him to sell their cow.
Times are tough.
He sells the cow for some magic beans.
He was a nice guy, but a little naive, simple-minded.
The scam artist figured out he had a live one.
So Jack goes home and tells the truth.
And his angry mom tosses the beans right out the window.
And overnight grows the huge beanstalk.
Brave Jack climbs up and avoids the sleeping giant.
And he returns with a goose that lays golden eggs and a singing harp.
Say, is this about our real estate bubble?
It's possible.
Yep, there's always a moral to these stories in there somewhere.
Yeah, Rapunzel Schwartz opens a pizza stand next to the castle.
Made some money selling swatches of her hair.
And what about Jack?
With all those golden eggs, he became a philanthropist.
Concerned for the middle class.
Wise guy.
So he built museums.
Libraries were going out of style.
Museums charged admission and had dining rooms.
Jobs meant people could shop again.
Laissez-faire.
Fruit, free markets.
Economy expanded.
As did my waistline.
So, we have to work our way out of this mess.
It's going to take time.
Like getting our guys back from Iraq and Afghanistan.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Didn't Howie say that?
You'd have to ask Whitey.
He's working in our national security system.
This is no time for jokes.
As long as our president doesn't make them.
I thought you knew Cheney wrote all those lines. Blackout. There we go.
Like that. We should do that once a year.
2008.
Yeah.
2008.
Maybe earlier.
We're nostalgic
Yes.
Maybe earlier. I don't know.
for that stuff.
All right, I got another old one. It's 20.
So anyway, folks, tomorrow is Super Tuesday.
I have an idea before
I don't
the
think
clock rings.
there's much super about it, but it's Super Tuesday. I intend, not that you care or even should care,
Hey, they do
but
care.
I intend to go to the polls tomorrow and vote
Well, it's
for
about
our
time.
Senator
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren for president.
Elizabeth Warren?
Me too.
Yes.
Oh, you got, what's that guy, Mike, what's his name?
Bloomberg.
Bloomberg?
Oh, Bloomberg.
Bloomberg.
Yeah, what's wrong with him?
Elizabeth just got his number and has squashed him like a bug.
What's wrong with him? Well, one of the things that's wrong with him.
He's got too much money, I know.
No, that's not necessarily
He's
it.
a
One of the
male
things that's
sexist
wrong with
pig.
him
Ain't
is that a good part of his
necessarily so.
career he was a Republican.
Yes.
And the other thing that's wrong with him is that one of the essential constituencies of the Democratic Party in America these days is the African American vote.
Right.
And Mike Bloomberg will not get the African
Trump
American
used to
vote.
be what was it, that other thing, not the other party. What do you call them?
The Tea Party?
Republicans?
No, not the
The
Republicans.
Tea Party.
Democrats?
The Democrats. You knew that name.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
He was a Democrat when it served him.
He was a Democrat for a while.
So he could hang out with the Clintons. That's the only reason.
So
we all know
everybody switches around, change.
Not everybody.
Oh, well,
But,
okay.
I mean, it does happen. I mean, I was a Republican back in the days of Ed Brooke and John Volpe and Frank Sargent and Elliot Richardson and stuff. I always loved to quote my good dear friend Ed Brooke, first African American ever elected to the United States Senate.
Nice guy.
And somebody about 10 years or so ago, interviewing Ed Brooke, said, "So, Senator Brooke, why did you leave the Republican Party?" And his answer was, "I never left it. I couldn't find it."
Good
All
response.
right, now here's a question. What bothers me, all the president keeps talking about is doing something about this foul, vile virus. They know what the virus looks like, right? They got pictures of it. Somebody told me it was
Under a microscope,
Wait a
they got
minute, wait a
pictures.
minute.
Mike's been
minute.
looking at the mug shots.
Wait a minute. Okay.
I know, he's been worked up on this all day.
So let's say they even found out the guys who were doing all the work on this little thing that they now have isolated, that can actually maybe have a language of some sort. They're not sure.
Okay. It's talking to
the president
Interesting.
finds out about this and tells the people in the White House, can anybody speak this language of this bug?
Actually, wait a second. That gives me a great idea. They say that this virus came from snakes. Stephen Miller.
That's right.
Stephen Miller's the guy to solve the problem. He's a snake.
It's not. Anyways, it's the whole business is kind of risky. But the president says, wait.
Risky business. Good
The
movie.
president says he will speak to the virus over the phone.
Oh.
So everybody can listen.
Did he really say that? Yeah, he
Now,
did. He did.
I haven't gone beyond that with this idea.
Maybe he'll tweet.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, this just hurts.
Okay.
That's right. Stephen Miller.
Got it.
That's the guy to solve
another
it.
guy who got what was it? A pardon.
Oh,
Pardon?
several of them. Your dear friend, who you used to talk about on this show all the time,
Blagojevich.
Blagojevich, the former governor of Illinois.
He didn't do anything wrong. What did he do? He didn't. His wife said he didn't make a cent out of all of this.
This is like the
'cause he
bank
got
robber
caught.
who comes in,
Listen.
shoots the guards, and doesn't get away with the money.
What did he
What's
do?
the crime? He didn't make anything.
Exactly.
All he wanted to do is sell.
He wanted to sell Obama's Senate seat,
I remember this guy.
So, Obama was.
among a number of other things that he
but
did.
Yeah.
He never. So they sent him to jail for about 12 years. I don't know.
And he pardoned the son of a
Wait,
gun.
but first, before he went to jail, he went out to make some money because he said his wife was hungry, so they went out to Las Vegas. This actually happened, and he was given a shot at a comedy routine.
Oh, really?
Yes, and the people, when they saw
was gonna
him,
do stand-up.
found out who he was, they threw food and drinks at him. It was terrible. I saw this on
Maybe
television.
he should be in jail for his own safety.
Well,
And I'll tell you, when he
Or house
pardoned him,
arrest.
But you didn't tell him. He was governor.
he was out.
yeah.
He was out of jail the same day that the impotus pardoned him.
Yeah.
Out there and calling himself a political prisoner. Now the guy,
Oh, good job.
the guy who didn't go in front of cameras, who is in many ways a bigger crime that was pardoned, was Michael Milken, the guy who brought down the economy.
Right.
I mean, this guy harmed, little people in the middle of the country
What
whose
was that thing?
savings
What was it?
were
What was
wiped
he
out.
doing?
They were selling those. What were there was a name for it. I can't remember. It's poison, but whatever it was, I bought it, and I lost everything. I really.
Investments.
Really?
No,
No.
he was a crooked investment
Yeah.
banker. He was sort of the prototype of greed is good,
Worse than-
junk bonds, all that
wanted-
kind of stuff.
Okay.
I wanted, and he had billions then.
Okay.
Yeah. And
didn't get any
and
of
then there was somebody I don't remember the name, but in Texas, who was pardoned for some fairly heinous crimes, who had only contributed $200,000 to Trump.
That's it?
Yeah,
all.
so now we know what the price of a pardon is. It's for sale from this guy.
Of course it is. Everybody knows that.
And they are so confident that they can do anything they want. They don't even hide their criminal activities
Yes.
anymore.
There's Stone.
Huh?
Roger
Roger
Stone.
Stone.
Roger- What a great American he is, And he gets out there like he's a movie star with his girlfriend, and she's wearing a fancy outfit, and the two of them are smiling. This is before he got sentenced. He walks
In the
court.
words of Roy Cohn,
Well, yes, he was.
do you remember?
Roy Cohn.
Guess what?
Sir, have you no shame? At long last,
At
have you
long
no
last.
shame? Ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen,
then.
good night. We will actually see you next week, same time, same station, here at the Fun Show at Big TV.